Ladder anxiety is a very interesting issue that surrounds a variety of competitive multiplayer games. Before we talk about ladder or ranked anxiety, I want to tell you my own personal experience with this abnormal condition. First of all, I love to play competitive games. If I find a game that I enjoy, I'll put my heart into making myself good at that game. Back in around 2014, when I played StarCraft 2 competitively, I suffered from ladder anxiety almost every time that I played, to the point where I would play 1 or 2 ranked games a day, in the end just to feel unmotivated, anxious, and afraid that I would either embarrass myself while playing, and by losing my precious ladder points that I worked so hard to accumulate. I'd set my rank at the time, which was gold for 1v1s, and imagining what it would look like if I was in Masters. It's definitely something that's an unfortunate part of some players' psyches that's in the back of their minds even when they are motivated to play. My name's Seaboch, and let's talk about ladder anxiety. First we have to ask ourselves, what is ladder anxiety? Well, there's no palpable definition of ladder anxiety. From what we know, it is as follows. Ladder anxiety is when a player is playing an online ranked game, such as StarCraft 2 or Hearthstone, and develops minor symptoms, such as their hands becoming cold, an increased heart rate, and of course, the anxiety itself. The Team Liquid wiki mentions in great detail how it might feel, and I quote, "Ladder anxiety can occur for many reasons, most of which boil down to caring too much about one's 1v1 ladder ranking, more so than in many other games. The perception of RTSs is that one's performance reflects one's intelligence. With no teammates to blame or fall back on, losing a 1v1 for many feels like a blow to their ego. With such an impact on a player, we can analyze this symptom. And finally, are there any good ways to combat it, as well as what did I do to fight ladder anxiety and finally get out of gold and start winning and ultimately achieve the rank of Master in StarCraft 2? Firstly, let's talk about the symptoms of ladder anxiety to get an idea about what it exactly is. When having ladder anxiety, players usually tense up and feel anxious about queuing for a match. As said, players before usually experience themselves feeling cold, an increased heart rate, as well as other feelings. To put it into perspective, let's put it this way. You have $100 and are sitting at a roulette wheel table. You want to get to $150, and the only way by doing that is by, in this scenario, betting. You look down at your $100, imagining what the $150 would look like. You want to put some of your money in, knowing full well that you could lose it and end up with $90 or even $50. But instead of running the risk, you sit there anxiously and uncomfortably and don't play at all. Instead, get up, leave, and do something else. Playing ranked games is like gambling in a sense. You have no idea who you'll be facing against. If they're a player around your skill level, if they're a smurf, someone with high rank on their main account, but has made a new account just to grind through the lower ranks again, it's like grabbing from a mixed bag. I've asked a group of friends and other gamers about their experience with ladder anxiety. Amongst such players, they played these ranked games at the top 99 percentile. While some didn't feel any sort of anxiety at all, a decently sized presence of my friends did. Professional League of Legends player Contractz had experienced ladder anxiety before and told me the following, quote, "I actually had super bad ranked anxiety. I only played 2 to 3 ranked games a day, and while I was in the games, I would be shaking constantly. It felt like I had so much pressure on me to perform well and not fuck up. It was bad." Perhaps ladder anxiety isn't as prominent in 1v1 games as we thought, but rather occurs in any ranked game that you could lose elo in. It can also be due to how long each game itself lasts. While Street Fighter might have an average length of 2 to 4 minutes a game, StarCraft 2, League of Legends, and even Counter-Strike Global Offensive can have matches that can last up to almost an hour. A good point to bring up is the community side of some games. If you're playing ranked team-based games such as League of Legends, if you're performing poorly, you can hopefully rely on your teammates to understand and carry you. However, that is usually not the case. This may lead to a barrage of personal attacks from your fellow teammates and quite possibly the opponents as well, which might make the anxiety itself stronger as you sludge through the remainder of your match. In 1v1 ranked games, it's just you and the opponent. One mistake can lose you the game, which does happen frequently. In the end, it's not a contest of which causes more, as much as it is displaying that there is an occurring theme in many competitive games. But how does one combat it? While there is no surefire way to combat ladder anxiety, there are different things that you can do to nullify it. And some of these things I've done myself. The most important one is to keep warm and stay positive. Spam some APM before the game to get your blood flowing. Do some warm-up rounds against bots, whatever that gets you to play. Think that you are better than you actually are. Get in a winner's mentality. And no matter what the outcome is, win or lose, be respectful. Tell other players a nice shot if they hit something nice. Call it good luck of fun, good half, good game, whatever. If it makes the other players feel better, maybe they'll say the same thing back to you. Another note that I can't stress enough is that you should analyze the game afterwards. Download it and say to yourself what you could have done better and what you could do differently. Not only will you learn from your mistakes, but you will improve as a player. Set some goals for yourself to see visual progression. Say to yourself, today I'm going to play X amount of games regardless of outcome. I want to be in X rank by a certain date, and go for it. Of course, there are so many different ways to combat it, but that personally helped me and a couple other people out that were mentioned before. But keep in mind that everybody is different, and what might work for some of us may not work for the rest. The most important thing to do is to play the game. Buckle up, call good luck, have fun, and play. You'll get through it. Hey guys, Luke here. I had a lot of fun making this video. Writing it was absolutely a blast, and I learned a lot from a lot of people from it. So if you learned something too, be sure to leave a like and leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I always look forward to you guys' input. Also, be sure to check out the links below if you want a link to these scripts so you can read it yourself. Everything in the description, all the links are there. And as always, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.